Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you, as always, by Lay of the Land and myself, Rolene Marks. I cannot believe it's Thursday already. We do this gig every Monday to Thursday, bringing you those top stories making headlines. And before Israel heads into the weekend, let's take a look at those top stories making headlines. And we begin in the United States with the State Department reiterating that the Biden administration really want to make it a priority and are committed to seeing change within the Palestinian Authority's governance in Ramallah. They are particularly concerned about the hundreds of millions of dollars that have been given towards welfare, and that this money is going towards paying the salaries or stipends to political prisoners or their families of terrorists who have been killed while committing acts of terror against Israelis. What many people don't realize is that this money goes towards paying salaries for those who are in prison and could quite possibly be going towards hospitals, schools, infrastructure, and other much needed buildings, etc., within the Palestinian Authority remit. Now, in 2018, the United States voted in the Taylor Force Act, named after an American national who was murdered by terrorists while he was here in Israel. And this suspended this welfare aid that was given to the Palestinians because of concerns of pay to slay. So we have heard it from the Biden administration, and in particular the State Department. Let's see if they are able to enforce this. And a very, very mysterious story, breaking news earlier this morning, and that is of the mysterious and sudden death of Abbas critic Nizar Bahat. Nizar Bahat, a Palestinian, was often very vocal about his criticisms against President Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian Authority. In fact, recently he appealed to the European Union to withhold their funding. Now, in a security force raid, this is by the Palestinian Authority security forces on his home this morning, he suddenly died in mysterious circumstances. But this is not the only crackdown on critics that has been taking place recently. The Palestinian Authority have been cracking down on anybody on social media that seems to be posting anything that is critical of Abbas and the Palestinian Authority. And we are also very concerned that human rights organizations do not seem to pick up or seem to care about this issue. But it's one we will be following quite closely. Now we welcome the President of Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernandez. He is in the country. He has just met with President Rivlin. He will meet with Prime Minister Naftali Bennett later. But what is he here to do, you ask? Well, let me tell you. He is here to inaugurate the Honduran embassy in Jerusalem. A really, really auspicious moment. Yet another country officially putting their embassy in Israel's capital, Jerusalem. And the president is quoted as saying he's delighted to be back in Israel and looks forward to sowing a relationship of friendship, solidarity, and mutual cooperation. Now, not making as much news as it should today is the fact that it is the first ever International Holocaust Survivors Day. This is a day that is dedicated to listening to survivors of the Holocaust, to really bearing witness. And I must say that I'm quite concerned that it hasn't received the coverage that it should get, especially in light of astronomical anti-Semitism around the world. Now more than ever, as many of our Holocaust survivors pass away because of age, and sadly we've lost many of them to the coronavirus pandemic, it is so important that we, the next generations, listen to what they endured and make sure that those stories are told to future generations in the hope of educating against anti-Semitism and future genocides. And I think a best or really a good way to commemorate this, is to take some time to listen to the story of at least one survivor. And to help you do that, we've posted the story of Ziggy. He is on our Facebook page. Please, once you finish watching this, take some time, listen to Ziggy's story, and share it with as many people as possible. And before we wish you all a fantastic weekend, we have to say a hearty Mazel Tov to Gilad Shalit, the former captive that was held by Hamas for 5 years and has been freed for 10 years, married his sweetheart Nitzan Shabbat in a ceremony in Emek Hefer in the center of Israel last night. And we wish the two of them a lifetime filled with joy and everything of the best. It's really, really lovely to see a happy ending to quite a traumatic story. Now, all that remains is for me to wish you a wonderful weekend. But before I do that, please don't forget to check out our original content online on our website at www.layoftheland.online. If you want to write for us, if you've got the right stuff, please contact us through our website. Our contact details are up there. And don't forget, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like us or follow us and share our content. And we're on YouTube as well. Our channel is the Israel Brief. We would love it if you help us grow our community there by clicking on the subscribe button. And we're on Twitter, and we have a lot to say there too. So please make sure that you follow us at Lay of the Land 5. Now I will wish you a happy, a restful, a peaceful, and above all, a healthy weekend. Shabbat Shalom from all of us here, and we'll talk again on Monday.